I've been diving since I was 12, and it's become a real addiction. I try to dive wherever I travel. Like everyone else, I was raised on Jacques Cousteau, and coming to Queensland and diving the Great Barrier Reef was a culmination of those boyhood dreams. Even now, there's a real excitement and adrenaline that comes with the preparation for a dive, getting ready to enter a completely new world.
Diving on the Great Barrier Reef is so fantastic because of the sheer scale of the place. I've never seen coral like this, and I've been diving all over the world. It's just huge, mountains and towers of coral that goes on forever, all really healthy and filled with fish. So let's check it out.
I still find it hard to explain to non-divers what it's like to be underwater, especially in a world that is so colorful and vibrant as the Great Barrier Reef. The coral here is monumental. These bommies I was swimming over were 80 to 100 feet high, and they were constructed of the most colorful and diverse coral you've ever seen, and all of it alive and healthy, and packed full of fish life. What's so exciting for me when you dive is you suddenly become part of this world. You're swimming around, you're surrounded by fish that really take no mind of you. The Great Barrier Reef introduced me to a lot of new fish that I had never seen before, like these black clownfish, which you can find in the shallows. Normally they're swimming among the anemones, which sting other fish, but not the clownfish. They're very colorful, they look like they're being very playful, even though normally they're just protecting themselves. What I like to do often when I'm diving is just to pick out any fish on the reef and follow that fish as I swim over the top of the coral. For me, diving a coral reef is meditative. It's so beautiful and very peaceful, and yet there's so much activity going on all around you. You're never bored. The wonderful thing about the Great Barrier Reef is the diving is fantastic, even right below the surface. You don't have to go deep to enjoy it. In fact, the snorkeling on the reef is just as good as the diving. Some people are afraid to try diving. I've heard explanations that it makes them feel claustrophobic or restrictive. Frankly, I think it's the opposite. When I'm diving, I feel so free, and I feel like I'm flying. And there's nothing quite like the feeling of being in the middle of a school of fish in the open sea, especially in the morning when there's so much activity on the reef. Also teaches you to be observant. These are squid that are swimming along in the current. And these fish here are some of my favorites. They're all over the reef. They're called sweet lips. And down below you can see a grouper, which is a sign of a very healthy reef. And there were a lot of grouper on this reef. There were no animals missing from the coral reefs that I dove on. It's always a good sign to see these leopard-spotted stingrays as well. And lots of juveniles, like these bright blue fish that were right on the surface coral. I love these guys. They're like little electric blue lights that just dance around. I also love the giant clams, and there are dozens of them all over the reefs. They're huge and so colorful, bright purple and turquoise. It rained on my last day on the reef, but no matter because I was already underwater, and it was so pretty watching all the raindrops on the surface. I took a lot of pictures trying to share the reef with you, but photography and video does no justice to a place like the Great Barrier Reef. You really have to experience it yourself. We sailed home, which was good fun. I think a sailboat is the best way to travel to and from the reef. We were traveling at about 9 knots. We had a good wind, but I was sad to leave. I could have kept on diving all week. When I say that this experience was unforgettable, I mean it. I will not forget the coral on the reef because it is so spectacular, and I'm already plotting my return. There's a lot more diving to be done.